One and a two. One and a two. Okay, good. Thank you guys so much. So how's everybody doing today? It's a Tuesday afternoon, and you're listening to my voice, and you're here to learn about sponsored products. That's awesome. I appreciate everyone being here. Nick said, I'm at work. Shh. So, all right, sorry, Nick. I'll keep it down, man. How's everybody else doing? I always love to ask, where in the world are you guys today? Where are you coming to us from? That's always one of my favorite questions. Miami, Carlos, nice. We have a lot of people, by the way, flooding into this webinar right now. So I won't be able to answer everybody, but NYC, very cool. Cologne, Roy, that's awesome. Nice, Corey, what's up, man? How are you? Palm Coast, awesome. Israel, beautiful. Humboldt, we've got London, Stevens in London. Fargo, North Dakota, what's up, Byron? How you doing, brother? Good to see you again, man. Guatemala, Diego, dude, that's a new one for me. I love it. And now I'm going to ask you guys another question. How many of you have been on a webinar with me before? Give me a 1 if you've been on a webinar with me. Give me a 2 if you've not. Corey said not live. Okay, 1, couple of 2s, couple of 2s, couple of 1s. Good. Well, thank you to everybody that is live here with me. I appreciate that. And for everyone that has not been on a webinar with me, prepare yourself for a heck of a ride. We have a lot of fun. We may or may not do a few keyboard head smashes while we're here, and it is exactly what it sounds like. When I ask for it, just present your forehead to your keyboard. Not live. Stephen, okay. Brenda says no. Charles says yes. Mariana said yes. Only your recorded stuff. Corey also said that he had his largest sales day on Amazon yesterday. Loving life. That is awesome, man. Good job. Good on you, mate, as they'd say. Who else is having a really killer week? I mean, I was surprised when I opened my laptop at about 10:30 today how well we were doing. We're way ahead this week. I don't have any lightning deals going. I don't have anything else going except for my sponsored products, and we are killing it. I mean, we're doing, I think today we'll easily do 200 units or more. So I'm really, really excited. Will you cover, Carlos wants to know if we'll cover AMS, Vendor Central ads too. You know what, we can get to that at the end. Brian may or may not talk about that. So how many of you guys know Brian Johnson? Let's get a 1 if you know Brian Johnson. Let's get a 2 if you don't know Brian. Okay, so got a few 2s, mostly 1s here. That's good. For those of you guys that have not heard of Brian Johnson or have not heard Brian Johnson, Brian is and this is not me on a bias saying this at all, he is the world's best sponsored products consultant, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others. I did a lot of research before I hired anybody to help me. Initially with my sponsored products, they were sucking wind. I was hemorrhaging cash every single day. Brian was able to come in and help me out a ton with that. So I figured what better thing to do than to get him on a webinar with us. So that said, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to unmute Brian. We're going to talk to Brian a little bit. You guys don't want to hear from me. Brian, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Good, good. I was kind of running into some audio challenges here in the beginning, so hopefully that's gone. Hopefully,
yeah, you know,
everybody else off the network. And
yeah, you sound good to me. I want to make sure everyone else can hear you. Can you guys hear Brian okay? Let's just get a 1 if you can hear him okay.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Nice. Lots of 1. Lots of 1s. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Good, man. Well, what do you say we kick this thing off, Brian?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
You know, I was going to play, for those of you that haven't been on a webinar with me before, I was going to play some music as I normally do, but I realized we're already 2 or 3 minutes into the hour, and I know we'll get some more people coming in late, but that's their fault, right? Everyone that's here now and got here early, thank you so much. We totally appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing started. So let me X out of there, and oh, geez, we'll go backwards. Okay. Wouldn't be a webinar with me at least 1 glitch, right, Brad?
See, there we go.
You don't have to answer that. Don't answer that. You're saving your own butt there by not answering it.
Well, that was my glitch. So.
Okay, good. Cool, guys. All right, so on this webinar, we're going to make you guys one big fat promise. Okay, by the end of this webinar, you'll have gotten enough actionable information to immediately create more profit from your sponsored products campaigns. And there's going to be no hype, no fluff. Okay, does that sound good, guys? Who's excited to learn about their sponsored product campaigns? Let me get a 1 if you guys are having trouble right now with your sponsored product campaigns. How many of you guys feel like you're just banging your head against the wall and Amazon is not giving you enough information right now? Lots of ones. We're getting Peter. Peter, there's about 30 ones there, Peter. Good job, man. Daniel says he's got some sales, but low pay-per-click. All right, guys, well, don't worry. And we want you to stick around to the end of this webinar, okay, because we've got more than a few bonuses that you won't want to miss. Pretty awesome, right? Okay, so one thing I'm going to ask you, we're going to bring it down a notch here. It's the time to pay attention, okay? Now is the time to close your office door, okay, shut down Facebook, make sure the kids have the iPad. I know I give my daughter the iPad, and she tends to go off into her own world, and I can trust that she'll be quiet, at least for a small period of time. And also make sure the dog is fed. And by the way, my dog is in the office with me right now. So if you hear some extraneous barking, that is Brixton. Because, you know, this webinar is really going to rock, guys. All right? But it won't if you're distracted. If you've got Facebook open or if you've got people banging on your door or distracting you, you're not going to get as much from this webinar as you can get. And if you're like me and you were totally struggling with your sponsored products campaigns, your Amazon pay-per-click, and you really want to, you want to improve them, you want to get out of the hole, and you want to learn how to replicate successful campaigns time and time again, Brian's a guy to listen to, okay? So who are we? I'll quickly get myself out of the way. That's me. That's my ugly mug. My name is Brian Burt. I've been an online marketer for over 10 years. I'm an Amazon private label seller for just over a year, going on about a year and 3 months now. Did just under $1 million in my first year on Amazon, and I'm roughly at about $150,000 a month. Actually, if you take into account all 3 of my Seller Central accounts, then we're up around the 200 mark. My 2017 goal, many of you guys know this, and I love putting it out there. That way I stay more accountable, is $1 million a month. Who is with me? Can I get a keyboard head smash on $1 million a month? Who wants to be doing that on Amazon? There you go, Roy. First one in. Beautiful. Nice. Booyakasha, Bobby Jakes. Bobby Jakes, good to have you on here. So that's my cousin Bobby. I believe you were just on the Amazing Seller podcast this morning. So good for you, man. Really making moves. Bobby in his own right. Brian, we've been working with Bobby for how long now? Probably about 6 months or so?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's killing
Seems
it.
like
Bobby.
15 years now, but
feels longer.
Yeah.
Bobby's doing up in the $60,000 to $70,000 a month range now, so Bobby's crushing it. Nice. Cool, cool, cool. All right, guys, so let's keep it rolling here. Who's this guy? Who's Brian Johnson? Brian Johnson.
Some guy.
Oh, you want me to do this? I'll do it. I know Brian is one of the most humble dudes ever, man. So Brian's got 9 years in e-commerce, professional, consultant, coach. Is this right? Hundreds of Amazon sellers?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I've been doing this a while.
Sounds like it. Okay. And the world's largest Amazon pay-per-click community and software. What's the name of the community and software, Brian, for everybody?
Community on Facebook is going to be the Amazon PPC Troubleshooting Community. Aptly named, given that's all we ever do with Amazon sponsored products, right? And then, no, I'm exaggerating, of course, and then, of course, the software is PPC Scope, which was on version 1.0, and we'll announce here regarding the new 2.0.
Wait a minute, is that the first official announcement of the 2.0?
No, well, before I think we actually suggested it, that it was coming, but it's actually here now. So there's no waiting anymore. So basically, those who jump in to the academy are actually they're gonna have direct access. They're gonna have immediate access to it. This is not even publicly live yet. We don't actually even launch until the end of the month. So this is right before everybody else.
Nice, nice. So you heard it first here, guys. This is not a pitch for PPC Scope. You just heard that it's live. So that's awesome. Also, Brian, you're widely considered to be the leading Amazon sponsored products professional.
In my own head. No, kidding.
In your own head. No, you definitely have earned that right with me. I'll tell you that much. And guys, here's the thing, okay? This slide says we have discovered. Really, it's all Brian has discovered ways to hack Amazon sponsored products so that we can reliably launch product after product and within a reasonable certainty know that we'll be able to be successful with those campaigns every time, like clockwork. But Brian really did it the hard way, right, Brian? I mean, you did it through thousands of hours of testing?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, it's I don't even yeah, I lost count a long time ago as far as the amount of hours that occur just in testing and consulting and everything, and just researching and collaborating with other professionals in the industry. And yeah, I mean, this is what I do. This is me. This is my full-time gig. This is all I focus on.
I know. And guys, for those of you listening that haven't heard Brian, really pay attention again, guys, because we're going to start dropping the knowledge here really soon. And for those of you that do know Brian and have worked with him, you obviously need no explanation. So here's the thing, guys. Brian, you've spent of your own money hundreds of thousands of dollars.
No, I spent your money, 100,000.
That's also
No kidding. No, yeah, absolutely. Through testing, yeah, I've got no problem as far as putting my money into testing. I don't rely on somebody else. I basically spend a lot of money, not only through software and my own testing, through advertising, through my own staff, and through employing other people to assist me in this. I spend a lot of money every single month just trying to make sure that I'm on top of whatever is occurring currently with Amazon.
Yes, I know that I spend personally, thousands of dollars every day on my sponsored product campaigns. And especially when I first hooked up with you, Brian, I was spending over 1,000. I think it was $1,500 to $1,600 a day.
Yes, you were.
It was insane. Thank you for helping me bring that down. But you helped me manage that, and you've been helping me manage that campaign for well over, I'd say, 100 days. So easily, just alone, you've helped me manage over $100,000. But how about total? What would you say there? Millions?
Oh, as far as what I've touched on, what I've managed and consulted on, yes. Yeah, several million.
That's insane. And here's the thing, guys. You guys don't have to do all that testing, right? You don't have to spend the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've spent, Brian has spent, or take the time to manage other people's accounts like Brian has, because we're literally going to cut your learning curve by years here, guys. Okay? So imagine this, right? Imagine what it'd be like to be able to confidently launch your sponsored product campaigns, your Amazon pay-per-click campaigns, and know that they would be successful. Just to know that like you knew it. I mean, what would that mean for your business? What would that mean for your Amazon business? What would that mean for your income or your lifestyle? What would that mean for your family, guys? I really want you to think about that, because everything changes when you can reliably launch sponsor product campaigns. And that's exactly what we're going to show you here. All right, so who is excited for that? You know I love it. Give me another keyboard head smash. Let's see who's the first. Nice, Alex. Beautiful. Booyah, Daniel. Awesome. Okay, guys, cool. So why don't we break into it a little bit? But just before we do, one disclaimer here. And guys, we have to do this because there's more than one reason, but this is a very important slide to me. Our results are not typical. Every single person that Brian or I have coached that has had success has put in the time, the money, and the effort to learn our strategies. They paid attention, okay? Because success never comes to those looking to, quote-unquote, get rich quick. And if that's what you guys are here for, you're likely on the wrong webinar. You guys understand that this does take time to learn? This does take money to invest, and more than that, it's going to take your effort and your passion to become good at this. But going back a few slides, what does that mean for your lifestyle? What does that mean for your family? What does that mean for your business or your income? Who's ready to put in the time and the effort to do this? Listen, we're going to cut your learning curve by years, but if you're not paying attention here, it won't happen. Can I get a 1, please? Let's see. Me, I am, woo! 1. Cool, guys. Okay, so that's the big, ugly, scary slide that I have to get out of the way. Okay, so Brian, you want to jump into the 3 biggest myths?
Of course I do.
Okay, nice, man. So I'll cue them up for you. You knock them.
Okay, sounds good. So let's see, wait until the slide comes up there. There you go. So the first myth, and I'll just do a quick summary and then I'll go into a little more detail on these, but the first myth is simply something I hear quite a bit is, I'm bidding really high. How come my ad isn't on page 1? How come it's not in position 1? That's the first big one. Second one.
I hear that all the time, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The second one, of course, is that, I'm selling a ton, so business is good. I'm selling a ton of product, so life must be good.
And I think that's where you found me, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I did, yeah. That's not uncommon. And then, of course, the third one is the belief that there's one match type. I hear this question come up again and again in the communities, and even with my own clients, is like, well, which match type should I be using on my keywords? The reality is that there is no one best match type, and I'll get into that.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the first one, Brad.
So this is basically, the first one, of course, is the one where the common belief out there that simply just bidding higher allows me to be on page one. In fact, if you contact seller support at Amazon, they'll actually tell you a couple of things, and one of those is to bid higher. The problem is even the seller support staff doesn't know why they're telling you that recommendation, because they don't know how the Amazon's ad auction works. But
That's
I'm going to teach you that.
How many of you guys have heard that from Amazon? Maybe just try bidding a little bit higher.
Right.
Yeah, lots of them. I have me, Grant, nice. So what's the reality there?
Yeah, well, and like I said, I mean, the Amazon Amazon ad auction rather considers a lot of factors, and actually bid price is the very last one. The last one, not the first one, the last one. And I mean, I know why, and I explain that why. I teach exactly how the ad auction works, so that anytime any kind of algorithm change comes up or any kind of troubleshooting comes up, that you'll understand how the ad auction works. Therefore, you'll know what to actually do about it. You don't have to wait around for somebody else to tell you, oh, here's what changed and all that kind of stuff. You can reverse engineer the process and you can fix it yourself.
So what does Amazon really consider first, Brian?
Well, so they're going to consider a number of things. First of all, because there's two parts to the ad auction. First part is a filtering mechanism where they either say, you know what, you pass or fail. Your ad's going to show or it's not going to show at all, and they're going to base that off of primarily from starting out with the search term that the shopper is using. They're going to match that up, and they're going to first of all check to see if there's category relevance between the search term and the product you're selling. They're going to check next for your product relevance to that search term, and as well as the category that not only your product is in, as well as the category that search term is relevant to. And again, I'll get into a lot more detail in this in the course. You'll learn exactly how that works. The third thing is content relevance. Your product listing has a lot of content on it, and they just, each month they continue to change how they focus on that content in your listing. It's becoming more and more critical every single month. Every single month, I hear somebody, I hear a group of people say, it's like, oh, things have, faded off, or, my sales continue to lose traction over time, or, I'm just not showing up as well. That's because Amazon continues to tighten and tighten and tighten their relevance matching. And you need to be up to speed, and you need to be adjusting with them, or else you're going to get left behind. And a lot of sellers, I hear it all the time, every day. Somebody's saying it's like, they don't realize they're getting left behind because they're not up to speed. They're simply just saying, it always worked. How come it's not still working? Because the system changes. And that also ties in with the match type.
Yeah, and I remember you told me this story here, which is why I threw this slide in. Can you explain this a little bit?
Well, and actually, I mean, since I actually originally was telling you about this one, I still see this on a daily, not on a daily basis, but I see it probably, every week, every, month, something like that, where somebody comes in, they just get frustrated because they go in and they say, well, if seller support is telling me I need to bid higher, then I should be able to bid $3 or $5, and I should start seeing my ad, yet I'm still not. And so out of frustration, they're like, fine, I'll put it to $20 or $50 or $100 or $1,000. It gets ridiculous at some point. But what they find is that their ad still doesn't show up. In fact, in the example that I was telling you about is that, a client actually went to that point where they went up to $50 and they actually only achieved a page, the bottom of page one. Now, in that case, their ad was showing up. So they weren't being filtered, which is the first half of the ad auction. It's the second half of the ad auction which determines whether or not you're going to get placed high or low based off of a number of metrics with your advertising that is going to really control that, and simply just bidding really high may not compensate for if everything else is incorrect or not set up correctly. So in that particular case, what I was telling you earlier, Brian, was that we simply just focused in on the targeting and the optimizing for the search terms that were not only that we could compete in, but are also most relevant to his product. And according to, like I said, according to Amazon, as far as the search term to product relevance that I was just referring to earlier, we were able to get a much higher ad position. A lot of times, page 1, page 2, pretty easily for most of our search terms, simply by tweaking, simply by fixing the things that were preventing. We didn't have to bid higher. We just needed to fix some other things that were not bid related.
So it's funny, guys, because a lot of the time when I listen to Brian talk, I'll even record our Skype conversations sometimes and go back and listen to them again because you're so knowledgeable on this. And I'll ask Brian, I'll say, dude, just dumb it down for me so I can understand what you're trying to say. And essentially, it comes down to relevance. I mean, would that be the right way to to put that in a nutshell?
Yeah, relevance is huge with any kind of a search engine, especially on an e-commerce search engine like Amazon, is that if Amazon has its own perception as far as which products match up with certain keywords or which search terms. Just because you're bidding on 1,000 keywords or 50,000 keywords doesn't mean that your ad is going to ever show for your product on that, because Amazon may not consider 99% of what you're doing relevant. It doesn't mean that you need to bid on just a few keywords. It means that you need to discover what the right keywords are that are most relevant to your product and what the target audience is actually looking for.
And if you're doing that the right way, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're doing that the right way, you can pay less per click while simultaneously appearing higher in the rankings, both Absolutely. On the organic and the paid side.
Exactly, and that's the second half of the ad auction, is that if you get the other metrics right, you don't have to pay as much as your competitors to be in the same position.
I love that, and I love it.
Which is very cool, actually.
Yes, I mean, hey, you're spending less per click, and you're making more, and you're appearing higher. I mean, who doesn't want that, right, guys? So hopefully you guys picked up that. Why don't we move on to myth number 2 real quick, Brian? Business is great. I'm selling a ton. Now, this is where I fell down until you jumped in. But why don't you explain that a little bit?
Well, this is simply just the notion that if I sell more product, that because Amazon does an extraordinary job of basically limiting the information that we get to see, and so sometimes we have this perception that I'm selling a bunch of units, therefore things are working. As an initial, it's almost like opening up a bag of chips from the vending machine. You get that initial reward of like, ooh, yay, I'm eating chips, but then later on you realize, oh, these chips are bad for me.
Right,
it's one of those things where when you finally go back and run the numbers and you figure out your actual cost of doing business, your net profit margins and everything, you realize you could be losing your butt doing this if you don't do it correctly, if you don't fix it along the way. And a lot of people just kind of go blindly and say, well, I know I'm selling a lot, I need to sell more, but they're not running the numbers, and they're getting themselves into a dangerous trap.
Let me ask you a question, Brian, and I know that's the reality, that many sellers don't know if they're making a profit. But let me ask you a question. Do you think that Amazon intentionally, or maybe somewhat intentionally, sets up the data and the ability to understand that data in such a way that it makes it intentionally difficult? Do you think that they're out there, I don't want to say trying to deceive sellers, but not being as forthcoming as they could be?
Not necessarily. I mean, I don't necessarily think that we have some evil empire that's fighting against us. However, we need to remember, and we're reminded of this all the time, this is not the Death Star, right? Is that we are on Amazon's platform, and Amazon actively competes against us. And they have 10 times as much information that they can use in order to compete with us than we have. Now, some of these things, simply just because they haven't developed the systems, because maybe they've grown too quickly and they just haven't caught up, because, a lot of people think that's like, Amazon is the best in the world as far as their technology and stuff, and frankly, they've got some problems. And part of that is scaling up to the demand of the new amount of sellers, of the very victim of their own success, right? So while I don't think that they're really out to get us necessarily, I think it's a case of they simply haven't developed the right tools for us, nor is it in their best interest to expedite that.
Right, and you know what it does remind me of, and Boris, you're very right. Boris says it reminds me of AdWords.
Exactly.
Back in the day. And you know, to me, I knew enough about AdWords. Google AdWords, for you guys that don't know, is the Google pay-per-click platform. But I knew enough about it back in the day to be dangerous. And you know, they seem to be evolving in the same way, or Amazon, I should say, is evolving in the same way that Google evolved.
Exactly.
You know,
In fact, yeah, and there's 2 points I'd make on that. Is that one of them, like as far as the outsourced services that Amazon is working toward building, as far as a network of consultants, they're primarily just based off of those who are trained on Google AdWords, which doesn't necessarily apply to Amazon. Google AdWords is more on the informational research side. Amazon's more on the e-commerce transactional side of the house. Plus, Amazon does things a lot differently. However, for those of you who are familiar with AdWords, understand is that Amazon is picking out some of the best talent out of Google, and they're bringing them into departments like sponsored products. Therefore, you're going to start seeing greater and greater similarity over the years as Amazon evolves the sponsored products platform, which is still in its infancy compared to AdWords.
I was just going to say that's a nice way of saying that it is going to change a ton in the next 2 or 3 years.
I've got no problem with with giving out a ton of information and value and stuff because I know Amazon's going to change it next month, and so that's security for me as a consultant, as as an advisor, because as long as me and my team stay on top of what changes every single month, then, and which I also communicate directly to the Academy members, of course, then I know that I'm always going to have security in this world of the Wild West of Amazon developing their sponsored products platform.
Absolutely, man. And I want to touch on this little anecdote that you told me about here. Why don't you go ahead and kind of recap that?
Well, and this is just a reiteration of that. Yeah, basically we're a client and have had many like this where, they're pretty happy that they're selling a lot of units and they simply just wanted to scale that up. But I tell you what, is that the solution we have on this one is, I don't even need the slides because this stuff happens to me, I come across this so often, is, if you don't figure out your numbers, with any business, especially this one, if you don't know your numbers, you're going to paint yourself into a corner. You're going to trap yourself in a financial pit that is going to require you to dig back out again. So the sooner that you figure out what your actual cost of doing business is in relationship to your advertising, and then tune your advertising to meet these goals, then you're going to be on track for profitability, and then you can scale from there.
You know what? That's so important, guys, to understand that if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. So let me ask you a question here. This is for everyone listening. So on a scale of 1 to 5, put it in the box here. How well do you know your numbers in your business? 1 being totally lost, I have no clue what I'm doing, especially with my sponsor products, or a 5, you feel like you've got the best handle on everything, and you feel almost like an expert here with your sponsor product campaigns. And let's just see, I won't read off your name, but I'll read off the answers. So we've got a 4.5. That's awesome. Got lots of 1s. Okay, a 5. Wow, beautiful. 4, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 2, 2, 2. Awesome, awesome. Guys, that's so cool. I appreciate you being honest here, and it looks like most of us kind of don't have a really great grasp on our numbers, and that's not surprising, guys. It is true in my groups. I run big groups of 5,000 plus. I know, Brian, you run groups of 5,000 plus. And it seems to be a really common thread, and that's exactly why we're here. And we'll talk more about that. But Brian, why don't you talk about myth number 3, XYZ, or this is the best match type?
Yeah, so back in the day, which was only a year ago, back before we had match types that we could automatically configure, because they'd been around for a while before we could manually request changes, that type of thing. But when they actually rolled it out last fall and allowed us to target the more targeted match types, including exact phrase, and then in addition to manual broad match, there was a common practice of just use broad or just use exact. Or one of the common philosophies that I come across a lot is, I believe, from the Google AdWords methodologies, and that is you transition from a broad match targeted keyword, and then if that's working well for you in broad, then you move it up to phrase. If it's working well in phrase, then you move it up to exact, meaning meaning they stop bidding on the broad, they stop bidding on the phrase once they get to exact. And to me, that's a poor practice on Amazon specifically, because my experience has been that and I've got a lot of data to back that up, but my experience has been that because not only, first of all, each search term or each keyword is going to have its own home as far as the best match type, because some are going to be more generic, some are going to be more targeted, what they call long tail or more descriptive keywords that are more targeted to a narrower audience. They're going to perform generally better in an exact match type, where some of the more broad terms perform better in phrase and broad. However, that doesn't, you don't always know that. You can't predict it ahead of time until you test it. So my philosophy is absolutely that there is no one best match type that you want to be in or that you want to move to. You want to test everything, and whichever turns out to be the best performing match type for each keyword, that's the one that's right for that keyword.
Right.
There's no one broad stroke. It'd be lazy to just say, I'm just going to use broad on everything. In fact, to get out of this first real quick, because Amazon each month, as they continue to adjust their relevancy algorithms every single month in 2016, we see this again and again, where my students who are taught to use all three match types concurrently, that they are less susceptible to the algorithm changes than those who are committed to one match type or another.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And, it kind of reminds me of the phrase fail fast and fail forward. So you really want to be doing a ton of testing to figure out where your specific keyword should be grouped into, whether that's phrase, exact, or broad, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So why don't you go through each type of match type that we've got here, because I know this was an eye-opener for me, guys.
Yeah, and I think I actually kind of covered this a little bit, but yeah, the broad match is typically going to be higher visibility, higher ad impressions, yet there's going to be higher competition because it's easier for more competitors to simply just pick something. Even automatic uses broad match. So whether it's automatic or a manual broad match, there's a lot more competition there, and therefore it's more difficult to get your ad to show higher unless you really know the tricks like you'd learn in the academy, of course.
Right.
The next thing up from that is going to be more targeted. It's going to be a blend of both the ad impressions as well as the audience targeting. That's going to be the phrase match, and then back to the middle here is the exact match, which is going to have a higher click-through rate, higher conversion rate. It's going to have a much smaller target audience. You're basically laser pointing in on a target audience. It requires a lot more research in order to identify those keywords and to test those out. But when you do, you've got a lot less competition and your conversion numbers are way better, and therefore you get a much better value once you identify those. But again, like I said before, not all of them. Some of the ones that you would think that would perform best in exact match type, they don't always perform well. Can't talk there. They don't always perform as well in an exact match type as they do maybe a phrase or broad. So that's why we test all of them, and then we reviewed and do a consolidation afterwards, and we decide, okay, which ones do we keep for each keyword?
Right. And Brian, tell everybody about what I've got up here on the screen, because this was a nice little. I always like to hear about the stories and how you've kind of overcome them. So.
Sure, absolutely. So let me scan this one real quick here. So. Okay, yeah. So this one, I was telling you about. So this one is basically where one of my clients from a little while back, they had basically picked up as far as the list of keywords that were converting in their automatic campaign. They moved them over to exact match. In their manual campaign, they did a negative match back on their automatic campaign, and their sales dropped considerably. And they're trying to figure it out. It's like, well, what happened? Well, you went from one match type to a completely different match type. And by the way, automatic broad and manual broad are not the same. So I consider there to be 4 match types. And simply just shifting from one to the other doesn't necessarily translate. It's like, well, that should work even better over here, because there's other factors involved with when you create new campaigns, when you bid on a keyword for the first time. There's kind of a performance learning curve for Amazon. that they don't need on the automatic side. The automatic side is a lot more, you're not in control, it's a little more sloppy. It works great for launching and for some specialized tactics that I teach in the academy, but ultimately you're going to want to, again, take your converting keywords from automatic campaigns. You're going to want to test those out in broad phrase and exact match ad groups within the same targeted campaign. So I want to make sure I'm clear on this, is that I recommend fewer campaigns, like say one targeting campaign as far as your research campaign, one for your primary, and use your match type, group the keywords into their own, each of the 3 match types within their own ad group within that same campaign.
Yeah, guys, and if you kind of feel like you're drinking from a fire hose right now, you're not alone. Daniel says too fast. Got a yes. How many people feel like that was a lot of information and they want to go back and listen to it again? Daniel said he drowned. Yeah. It's okay, man. Hey, listen, I felt the exact same way, guys, when I was first getting in. But let me ask you a question, okay? Maybe this will help you out a little bit. That's great, Rebecca. Gulp, gulp. Let me ask you guys a question. What if you could have Brian Johnson by your side, helping you at every step in your sponsored product campaigns? Who'd be into that?
Me. Oh.
What would that mean for your income, guys? Right? What would that mean for your family or for your lifestyle, or maybe the most important, for your freedom? Right? What would that mean for you guys? God, please, me, I would, please, awesome. Everyone's freaking out over here. Well, that's exactly what we're going to give you guys. Okay, that's the point of what we wanted to explain to you here. We want everyone out there to have a really solid understanding of their sponsored products of their sponsored product campaigns, and that's why we're very proud to announce the Sponsored Products Academy. Now, guys, if you've heard of Sponsored Products Academy, that's a good thing. We launched it originally, how long ago, Bri? Maybe about a month ago?
2 months ago, I think now.
2 months ago.
Is it that long? Wow.
I don't think it might. About a month and a half.
Okay, within the last couple months.
Yeah, guys, we shut it down, okay? So we opened it up for a week and had so many people jump in that we had to shut it down. So we closed it down after 7 days. We're going to reopen it on this webinar right now. So Sponsored Products Academy is a 4-week intensive sponsored products training. Okay, here's what you get on the inside. And by the way, people are freaking out about this. We put a bit of a word out there with a few little birds, and people are very, very excited because of how well they've been doing from the first release of Sponsored Products Academy. So week 1 is, Brian, an intro and a fast start to sponsored products, right? It's an overview. It kind of gets you started.
So, some might say this is a beginner level, although I do put a couple of key nuggets that are in there in that first week. And so, and just the structure on this is that we drip the content out each week. So the first full week, you get the first full week of content. Second full week, you're introduced, you've got 1 and 2, so on and so forth. And so, one of the things that we certainly learned from our last launch of, our last student body, basically, is there were a number of students who came in and who had already came in and said, well, it's like, I already know sponsored products pretty well, but I'm going to go ahead and, I trust some of the things, I want to learn some new tips, that kind of stuff. And they made the investment, and they came in, and they said, okay, week 1 was a little bit basically too low level for them, they considered. And then, they pointed out, it's like, but, I got a couple of great little nuggets out of the first week. And they reached out to me and they questioned and said, look, is this all I'm going to get? And I'm being completely honest here to the audience, of course, Brian, but this is that we had some feedback and said, look, the first week I was expecting a little bit more in the first week. But then, we had over half of the audience say, first week was exactly what I needed, because A, it was back to basics, B, I didn't know as much as I thought I knew. And so it was kind of a refresher for some, but then it also was not like I am right now, where I'm just speaking fast and that kind of stuff. I break it down in much simpler terms, and so it's much more easily to digest for somebody who's just starting out, to somebody who maybe doesn't have very much knowledge of sponsored products yet. The
It's so
first
funny
week is
that
free.
feedback that we got, Brian, on the first week. Sorry to interrupt, man. I just wanted to add to what you said. The first week, we did have people saying, "Oh, this seems like basic." And listen, guys, there are people that are getting in on the basic level. There's people that are getting in on the advanced level, and everywhere in between. And then when week 2 kicks in, the keyword
Yeah.
research and ad optimization troubleshooting, Brian, you outdid yourself there. I think you really took the first week's feedback to heart, because week 2 is enormous. I know that I'm still on week 2, guys. This is the
honestly,
course that I'm helping Brian with, and I'm on week 2.
Yeah, most students find that they just go back. They'll finish. They'll go through all the course material that's available as it's available each week, but they'll always come back to week 2 because that's where the biggest meat is, if you will. And I can't tell you how many times that you saw this, Brian, is that some of the people who were critics for week 1 came back and they were just overwhelmed by week 2. It's like, oh wow, I've got so much to learn. These are the guys that came in. They were saying, it's like, I'm intermediate, I'm advanced level. I'm waiting for week 4, basically. For the really advanced stuff, and they get bogged down in week 2. I shouldn't say bogged down, because now they've got their head around it because they've gone through it enough that now they're like, wow, I didn't realize that there was so much more to sponsor products than what I thought. I thought it was much simpler than this.
Right, and I think that my favorite feedback from week 2 has been, especially in the groups, has been just the effect it's had on their campaigns, how much more profitable it's made people, and just really giving people a more thorough understanding of sponsored products. That really kicks in. But you can't do that, guys, without first learning how to dribble. Then you can shoot. Then you can dunk. So week 1 is learning how to dribble or hold a ball. Week 2 is keyword research. That's where it really, really kicks in. Brian, talk about week 3. That's audience visibility, targeting growth, and scaling.
Sure, absolutely. So week 3 goes into more of the intermediate to advanced level topics. Some of the specific strategies that I teach as far as going beyond simply just selling your product. That's what most sellers are currently doing with their advertising. Is they're looking to try to attract the audience that's looking for their product so they can sell them on their product, but they're forgetting the fact that there's a whole audience out there that they need to be focusing on. They're targeting, they're learning from their search term reports and their ad reports to learn more about who their target audience is. And then while their target audience might be out there shopping for something else, they could still be advertising to them. They could still become an impulse buy. It could be an add-on. There's a lot more to attracting that, and these are all things that your competitors are not doing. I can guarantee you is that when I help clients go through and they set up these kind of audience targeting campaigns, they go out and they test some of this stuff, and they're like going, look, there's all these other advertisers that I'm used to competing against, and there's one person out there who's actually doing the same thing as I am right now. And so you're basically getting, it's almost like it's not the grass is greener. I'm trying to think of an analogy here, but it's basically you're kind of getting into a fresh green meadow. Where you walk in, it's like, I'm the only one here. I can attract.
Yeah, right. I think you said it right out of the gate, and this is also what I've heard a ton with week 3. And now that I'm breaking into week 3, finally, I'm seeing. I just have the added benefit of you actually helping me run my accounts. Sorry, guys.
You haven't needed to, yeah.
Right. But you said it right there. This is where you really start to separate yourself from your competition in week 3. So 99.999% of your competition is not targeting. They're not working on scaling. They're not working on audience visibility. This is where it really starts to get awesome, guys. This is where you start to go, okay, this is blue ocean right here, or green grass, whatever you want to go with, right, Brian? And then week 4, talk about that.
So then week 4, and honestly, I mean, week 4 provides some very specialized things that most students are not even ready to take on. However, it's they're really happy that it's there for when it's so when they are ready. But like I said, like we were saying earlier, is that most will focus on week 2. Week 3 is so they can kind of step it up a notch, and then week 4 is when they're when they finally have gotten to the level where they're ready to take on some serious things. They can go on to much more specialized and much more advanced tactics as far as not only analysis, optimization, troubleshooting, I mean, we're talking about advanced level analysis, advanced level optimization, advanced level troubleshooting, some additional campaign, advanced campaign methodology. We're also going to be talking about, we help you to get into Vendor Express and Amazon Marketing Services so that you can start running those banner ads up at the top or having your ad targeted against competitor listings. That's part of that week 4 training.
That's one of my favorite things, Brian.
It is,
and
yeah, that's popular for sure.
There's 2 things in week 4 that I'm extremely excited about. The VA outsourcing, oh my God, guys, how many of you guys would love to outsource this entire process? Let me get a 1, let me get a 2, let me get a keyboard head smash if you guys would be excited to have somebody else handle this for you. Oh my God, Brian, you should see. Are you seeing this feedback here? People
No, you got the visibility on that one.
I think Peter literally knocked himself out cold. Looks like Dustin went down that same road. Good, guys. So that's where we really break into it is week 4, right? And then also Amazon Marketing Services. I know there were a few questions about this earlier on, but when you get into AMS, that's when you, like Brian said, that's when you get the banner, okay, above everybody else's ad. That's when you get to advertise on other people's pages. I mean, you can literally put your advertisement inside of somebody else's product page. It's insane, and if you haven't heard about that, it's one of the most ethically nefarious tactics out there. And I love it.
Well, that's another opportunity, absolutely.
Ethically nefarious.
Ethically nefarious. I'll have to look
That's
that
the name
one.
of my next group, I think. Also, guys, moving forward, each week will include, and Brian, I'll just fly through this for you, okay? Quick start checklists.
Checklists,
take action items. Right.
There's so many take action items, yeah.
God, I know. Well, I mean, that's how you get the most out of this, is taking action, right? Real life case studies. We go through case studies, guys. This is great. Tools and references. Obviously, there's some certain tools like PPC Scope and some other ones that we would like you to
both.
Be,
both free and paid tools that are referenced depending on what level you're at.
Right. And the best part is the paint by number instructions, right? So Brian gives you paint by number. Also, myth versus reality, which is very much an important topic right now because there's a lot of rumors and hearsay out there. You get frequently asked questions and a ton more. But the most important thing you guys will be getting, right, is Brian Johnson in a box. Okay? And, I mean, listen, guys, to have Brian there to coach you at I know it. To have Brian there to coach you at every step of the way, guys, like you're getting in Sponsor Products Academy, it would easily cost you over $12,000. I mean, to have Brian in a box, what would that mean for you guys? It would be an insane amount of value. I know because I experience it every day myself. I'm just lucky enough to have you like over my shoulder, Brian, and it's been huge. Okay, so let's talk about who the Academy is for real quick, okay? This is for you if you're currently selling on Amazon, right? Duh. If you're a small business just getting started, or even if you're a big brand, if you're a larger business, okay, even if you're not selling on Amazon, but you plan to, having Sponsored Products Academy in your back pocket, having Brian in a box, right? That's your secret weapon. I often refer to you, Brian, as my secret weapon because, in truth, you really are, and I think I'm not the only one. These are just some of the things that have people said about coaching with you and working with you, and these are not even updated since we launched. To be fully transparent with everybody on this webinar, these are not updated. I mean, it just goes.
As a sample, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, just on and on and on. And I love this from Moshe. He says, Brian is the gift that keeps on giving. That's one of my favorite. So listen, guys, I mean, I could go through each one of these testimonials, but I think you get the point here, right? We had 2 options when we were creating this course. Okay, we had a choice to kind of option 1, go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible. I mean, we could go at $47, $97 and just sell the heck out of it, but there wouldn't really be that much incentive for us and more specifically Brian to bring a ton of value, and the course would be thin, right? Not very effective. And then we had option 2, which requires a larger investment on your part, but in exchange we could devote all of our time and resources to the Academy to literally and virtually guarantee your success. And as if all this in the Academy wasn't enough, we've decided to sweeten the pot a little bit with a few bonuses. Let me get a 1, a 2, a keyboard head smash if you guys like bonuses. Let me see. Brian, we should break into some of these bonuses, man. This is where it gets fun.
Let's do that.
Just watching all these ones coming in and taking a drink of water. Okay, bonus number 1, guys. We're going to give you 100% free access to the live weekly Q&A sessions. that
Yeah,
come
so
along.
these are sessions basically that I host on a weekly basis to active members to field any questions, to go over discussion points, and of course to talk about anything the news changed. The latest algorithm update. Even while we were doing the first course. Amazon was continuing to update, and so we were making sure that each member was up to speed well before the rest of the community, Amazon community. We were making sure that everybody was up to speed as far as, okay, what's the current strategy, what's working now, what do you need to change?
Guys, this is a $600 value and probably a heck of a lot more. What does it mean to you to be the first in the know? The first time Amazon makes an algorithm up change, to be one of the first people to know that means that you're ahead of the wave and your competitors are not. Right? So even if you're out there selling, I don't know, friggin' garlic presses, right, with the 53,000 other people that are selling garlic presses, if you're the first to know about an algorithm update from Brian Johnson and you hear it first, you can adjust first and you can get way out in front of that and your competitors will be left behind in the dust. How freaking cool is that? Bonus number 2, 100% free 3-month access to PPC Scope, the leading pay-per-click software. Now I want to modify that a little bit here, guys. It's a $600 value, but really it's not PPC Scope, okay? What it is PPC Scope, am I wrong here, Brian? 2.0, right? 2.0.
Yep. Yeah, because I know a lot of people, you probably have run across nice little highlighter 2.0. That's funny. Yeah, most people are familiar already with version 1.0 because it's been out there for a year. And it was great for the time, but it was pretty simple. But I can tell you right now is that version 2 will blow your mind. I mean, as far as the difference between version 1 and version 2, there's nothing else out there like it. When it comes to being focused on sponsored products and optimization, integrates in with your Seller Central account, allows you to see. I mean, I could go on. I'm not gonna actually. There's a whole demo video we'll even show on that later on maybe, but it is the version 2.0, which without a doubt, even if you go out to ppcscope.com and look at the video out there, you can see what you're getting 3 months access to. It's super cool. Me and my development team are really jazzed about it. Let's put it that way.
Brian, I am too, man. And thank you for letting me beta test this software, guys. So I can honestly say that 1.0 was okay, and it did. If you really want to get a great diagnosis of your pay-per-click campaigns, you've got to pull 8 different reports from the back end of your sponsored products, or from your Seller Central account. And it's a pain in the butt. Then you've got to go through and analyze the data. Then you've got to go through and ask Brian, if you're me, what does the data mean? And then Brian has to explain it to you. But honestly,
and I tell him to watch week 1.
Yeah, and then he says, just go back to the academy, dude. But PPC Scope 2.0 is just light years ahead of PPC Scope 1.0, and I thought 1.0 was good, guys. So this is a $600 value. So to recap here, here's what you get when you jump into Sponsor Products Academy. Okay, you get Sponsor Products Academy, which is 4-week intensive training. That's a $12,000 value. That's Brian in a box, right? You get all the takeaways, which are included. That would be at least $19.97. We're going very conservative here, guys, by the way, on our estimates. Bonus number 1 as well. You get the access to the live weekly Q&A webinars. Okay, that easily could go for $5.97. Bonus number 2, 100% free access to PPC Scope 2.0 software. Okay, we're putting a $490 value on that. So the total value here, you're looking at over $15,000. Okay, but let me ask you a question. If all this did, right, if all the Sponsored Products Academy did, all the bonuses combined, PPC Scope 2.0, live Q&A webinars, et cetera, if all it did was help you fully understand your Amazon Sponsored Products Academy, or your sponsored products and your pay-per-click, would it be worth it? Ask yourself, how long are you going to be in Amazon for? Are you just trying to get in and get out? Maybe it's not worth it. But if you're in this for the long haul, if you guys are looking at this as a long-term play to provide for yourself, your freedom, your family, your financial situation, would it be worth it, right? How long do you think you'd be running with this for, right? Let me ask you another question. If all the Academy did was give you the confidence to run successful Amazon pay-per-click campaigns time and time again that you knew were going to be successful, would it be worth it? What would that be worth to you? Okay, let me ask you, let's put this a different way. What if a successful sponsored products campaign worth in profit to you? What's it worth? Is it worth $50 a day if you're running a good campaign? I know Brian, we see this all the time. $50 a day in profit is nothing, right? What about $100 a day in profit on a campaign? Pretty basic, right? What about $200 a day on a campaign, right? What about $500 or $1,000 a day in profit? Do you think it would be worth $1,000 a day in profit? If you could scale your campaign, directly, do you think you could get to that $1,000 a day mark? Okay, cool. Keep that number in mind. I'll come back to this slide. I just want you guys to be asking yourself this question. What is it worth to you in profit every day? Okay, because by now you guys can probably figure out why Brian does get $3,000 a month for just 4 hours with his students, right? And wouldn't it be a killer deal for this course at just $3,000? But we're not going to do $3,000 for this academy, okay? Today, we're going to be releasing Sponsor Products Academy. And guys, this is a re-release, okay? Sponsor Products Academy closed down. You could not even get this course for the past month and a half. So we're going to do it for just $19.97. But that's not to you guys. That's just for the general public. Okay, so if you've seen, we did hike the price to from a certain cost to $19.97. But
we have
just for
plenty
you
of
guys.
paid retail for it. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of people that paid $19.97 for this.
Oh, yeah.
But just for you guys, because you're on our pre-launch list, you're on this webinar, you're our VIPs. You got in. We didn't do any paid advertising for this webinar. This is all. You guys are our homies, right? So we're gonna do this for just $9.97. Okay. So if you guys want to get started now, head over to sponsorproductsacademy.com/go, and you can get in for $9.97. All right, so we're doing this just for you guys. We're reopening it at the original pre-launch price of $9.97.
And keep in mind, we're closing this back down again. So this is just a temporary open.
Yeah, guys, we're closing this down Sunday at midnight. So you've got a few days to think about it, but I don't want you thinking about this because you'll see why here, because I'm going to throw in another bonus. All right, bonus number 3, 100% free upgrades for life to Sponsor Products Academy 2.0, 3.0. And Brian, talk to me a little bit about how much the whole Sponsor Products platform is changing.
Well, I mean, kind of like what I was that, you and I have been obviously discussing as far as, okay, what are our next, courses or specialties as far as 2.0, 3.0. We don't really have a problem as far as coming up with the new content and the new strategies and adding even more value for Amazon sellers with these new with the new classes that we're having, with 2.0 and 3.0, for instance, simply because Amazon continues to change, the competitive environment continues to change. Amazon basically is making this easy for me to come up with new content every single month, and so there's not going to be a shortage of new, fresh content because it's going to be based off of what's working currently that everybody else is still stuck in 2015 and 2016 at some point. We're going to be on the 2016 through 2017 strategies as we roll these out. And so
yeah, guys,
Amazon makes that easy for me.
I mean, it's going to change. If it goes like we think it's going, and it's monthly, even bi-weekly now, the platforms are changing. So this is one of the most important bonuses, I think. But we're not going to do this for everybody, guys. We're going to do this for the first 30 people to sign up starting right now. Okay? So for the first 30 people to sign up for Sponsor Products Academy, we're going to throw in free upgrades for life.
Yeah.
Okay? So that
I was
means
surprised how well that was received. This was demanded and how fast we went through this on the first round.
Oh, God, I know. The first 30 really did kind of fly off the shelf. But we're reopening it. We're redoing this. Guys, we're definitely planning on coming out with a 2.0 in 2017, a 3.0 probably midway through in the summer of 2017, on and on and on. Guys, this is a franchise. We're turning this into a real business. This is a real training. In fact, Brian, I hope you don't mind me saying it, but you're being courted right now by the people at Amazon to make this Sponsored Products Academy course the training course, the certification course for Amazon. Is that right?
Yeah, but I can't really talk about it in public like this. Yeah, because that's a private deal that it's going to affect a lot of people. But that is true, and I am in discussion with Amazon directly. Unfortunately, I can't. I can't.
Okay.
Really that.
Well, you guys didn't hear that at all. Okay. Ignore everything I just said. Listen, guys, so get immediate access right now. You're going to get full access to all of this for just $9.97 because you're on our pre-launch lists, and we didn't do any paid advertising. This is still technically a private relaunch. Go to sponsoredproductsacademy.com/go. So sponsoredproductsacademy.com/go. Okay, we want to see you in there. And if you're one of the first 30 to sign up, then you'll absolutely get free upgrades for life. You'll get everything that we talked about, all the bonuses, the 4 weeks of the course, all the takeaways, the live Q&As, and you're going to get free upgrades for life. And guys, if you're planning on being in this for the long term, if this is a long-term play for you, as it should be, which is why I had that slide in the beginning that was disqualifying the get-rich-quick types, then this is something that should be incredibly valuable to you. Understanding your sponsored products is the #1 most important thing you can do to be successful on Amazon, period. It's where we all spend the most money. We don't spend the most money in products. We don't spend the most money in shipping. We don't spend the most money in tools or research. What we spend the most money out of our own pockets is sponsored products, period, the end. And that will be this, it'll be this way for now until you sell your business or close your business or your kids take over your business. So listen, guys, you think that's good? We're going to actually do something crazy. We're going to make you a 14-day guarantee here. If for any reason at all you don't think there's a ton of value and we didn't over-deliver in the Sponsored Products Academy, we'll give you a 100% full money-back refund, no questions asked, period. We are making this almost impossible for you not to pick up. That's the idea here, guys. We know, we're super confident in the Sponsored Products Academy. We know, we've seen the feedback from everybody that's already gone through it on the first round. And that's why we're giving you a 14-day money-back guarantee. And you've got two choices at this point. The first option, you do nothing. You don't make this leap of faith, which, by the way, is 100% risk-free, right? And stay in the dark inside of your sponsored product campaigns forever. You can try to conquer the monumental learning curve yourself, but you're going to have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and, I don't know, years, I would say, to get to where Brian is. And remember, this is Brian in a box, so this is the cliff notes here. The second option, pony up this small investment now in yourself and your business and start making a real positive effect on your knowledge and your profit. Just give it a shot, guys. We've heard all the feedback from people that have gone through already. We had a huge turnout for the first one. Sponsored Products Academy is now, and probably will forever be, the only training, sponsored products training course, period. Amazon pay-per-click. There is not another training course on the market, and there won't be another one that is half as good as this. Trust me, Brian is the best guy in the planet for this. So go to sponsoredproductsacademy.com/go for just $9.97. And remember, guys, this was normally $19.97, and it's only open until Sunday. Okay, so we're closing it down Sunday at midnight Central Time. Okay, and here's the secret, guys. Sponsored Products Academy will pay for itself. Can I get an amen? Sponsored Products Academy will pay for itself, and here's why, all right? Remember the slide I asked you to remember earlier? What is a successful sponsored product campaign worth in profit to you? Okay, so if we're charging $9.97 for this course, and you're only making $50 a day or $100 a day in profit on your sponsored campaigns, all the way through to $1,000 a day, right? You pay this off in 20 days if you're only making $50 a day from your sponsored product campaigns. If all this does is help you improve your sponsored products to the point where you're only making $50 extra a day, you pay this off in 20 days. At $100 a day, it's 10 days. At $200 a day, guys, very average. How average is it for people to be making $200 profit a day, Brian?
Yeah, that happens all the time.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
quite a bit.
pretty usual, at least in my experience. It will only take you 5 days, less than a week to pay this off. At $500 a day, guys, it's 2 days, and at $1,000 a day, you'll pay this off and have $3 left over for an ice cream cone in 1 day.
Right.
Or a beer, whatever.
I'll go with the beer.
Point being, I know. I'm going to go get a Dale's Pale Ale. But the point being, guys, you can pay this off. And, Brian, you know that $1,000 a day profit is super realistic. I know it because you've helped me get there. So, guys, I want you to go here. Go to sponsoredproductsacademy.com/go. Okay? Good. Okay, I'm getting lots of ones. I already signed up. Nice. Good job. Joey, Charlie, Dana, Alex, appreciate it. Trevor, awesome. People are already coming in. How cool is that? Nick just said signed up. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate that. Okay, guys. So remember, bonus number 3 here, 100% free upgrades to Sponsored Products Academy 2.0, 3.0 for life. That's only for the first 30 people that sign up. I'm going to go back to that. I just want to reiterate, first 30 people, and I'm looking at our Stripe account right now, Brian, and it looks like we still have 17 positions for that offer.
Okay.
So guys, we got 17 people left. Okay. So here's what you're going to get. Let's recap. Sponsored Products Academy, 4 weeks. It's $12,000 of value. Over $12,000, I think, is what we estimated. You get all the takeaways, the checklists, the action items, the case studies, references, paint by number instructions, FAQs. What am I missing there, Bri? Also the live Q&A webinars. It's $19.97. Okay, here we go. Bonus number 1, 100% free access to the live weekly Q&A webinars. That could easily go for $5.97. Guys, I've seen similar webinars go for $150 a pop in other groups and courses. We're not charging you anything. It's 100% free. Bonus number 2, free access to PPC Scope 2.0 software, which is awesome. Take my word on that one. $4.90 for those of you that have used it. Nice, Melissa. I'm in. Lionel, nice. Signed up last time. Well, I appreciate you being on. That's so cool, man. Steven's in. Awesome. Okay, guys. Bonus number 3, 100% free upgrades to SPA 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 17.0. How long do you think we can keep this going, Brian? I want to shoot for at least half a century.
Well, as long as Amazon's still in business, we should be okay.
It's a great point. That's a huge value, guys. I mean, I could make this number. Obviously, this is an arbitrary number I'm choosing here, somewhat arbitrary based upon what we're charging for this course. But if I went all the way out to, Sponsored Products Academy 10.0, this would be a much higher value. But we're being conservative, really conservative. I hate people that always fluff their numbers. Money back 14-day guarantee, guys. We want to make this literally impossible for you not to sign up for, right? So your total value you're looking at now, conservatively, $21,075. And again, you get it just for $9.97, okay, because you're on our pre-launch lists. We didn't do any paid advertising to get cold traffic. You guys are warm traffic. Likely, I know many of you out there. Either I do or Brian does.
Yeah. Yep.
Corey says, how often are the weekly Q&A webinars? They are weekly. That's every week. And we do them every week, my brother. Every week, okay? And look, guys, I know that $9.97 is not inexpensive. Okay, and honestly, I'm worried you'll see this presentation, you'll do nothing, you won't make the investment in yourself, and you'll go back to the same old that you were doing yesterday without making any real change in your business. Okay, so we want to do something to make it a little bit easier on you and your wallet. If you haven't signed up by now, okay, you can get immediate access for just $9.97, just for you, because you're on our pre-launch list, you're our homie. Go to sponsoredproductsacademy.com/go, or you can do 2 payments of $5.97. So it'll be 1 now, 1 in 14 days. Okay, so go to sponsoredproductsacademy.com/go, and you can choose $9.97 now, or you can do a split pay of $5.97. We want, like I said, Brian and I, before we put this together, we wanted to make it near to damn impossible for you guys not to sign up. And I think we're doing a pretty good job here. Brian, though, I think we could make it even better. What do you think, man?
Of course we can. We always do that.
Hell yeah. Okay. Bonus number 4.
We're good about adding more value.
Yeah. A live personal Q&A session with Brian Johnson. What would it mean to actually speak to Brian live? By the way, he charges $7.50 an hour for this, guys.
Yes, I do.
Okay. We're going to throw that in as well. So you're going to talk about your personal situation, your unique situation with your sponsored products knowledge and your campaigns. You guys can do a screen share. You can record it on Skype. We'll make sure that happens, okay? But we're only going to do this for the next 10 people to sign up, okay? So from right now, the next 10 people to sign up will get a one-on-one personal live Q&A recorded session with Brian Johnson, okay? So here's what you get again. Just to recap, Sponsored Products Academy, of course, the 4-week intensive with the takeaways, which are also worth about $19.97. You get bonus number 1. It's 100% free access to live weekly Q&A webinars. You'll stay ahead of the curve and stay ahead of your competition with that bonus, okay? It's a $5.97 value easily, guys. I went very conservative on these numbers. Bonus number 2 is 100% free access to PPC Scope 2.0 software. It's awesome. You won't have to, I mean, it's really a great place to see all of your data laid out beautifully and previously unannounced. So this is just pretty much announced on this webinar. It's a $4.90 value. You get 3 weeks, I'm sorry, 3 months. Isn't that right, Brian? Is it 3 months or 3 weeks access to PPC?
No, it's 3 months, yeah.
3 months. Okay, that's awesome. Bonus number 3, 100% free upgrades to Sponsor Products Academy 2.0, 3.0, 15.0 for life. Easily about a $6,000 value. And then, of course, bonus number 4 for the first 10 people. So bonus number 3 is for the first 30 people to sign up. Looks like we've got just under 10 positions for that. Bonus number 4, a one-on-one live Q&A with Brian Johnson. It'll be personal. It'll be the 2 of you. It's a coaching session that goes for $750. Guys, the total value here is huge. It's almost $22,000 being really conservative. And we've given you the 14-day guarantee. So go to sponsorproductsacademy.com/go, and you can either do a $9.97 or you can do 2 times of $5.97. Guys, we did launch this. It was huge. The feedback was amazing. People have changed their lives with this course. Honestly, I mean,
yeah, no, the feedback we've gotten has been awesome.
Brian, you've been phenomenal. You know, I really, you know, when you guys are out there, I don't know how many of you guys out there have partners, but when you choose to partner with somebody, you've got to be really, really careful. And I really, you know, I don't partner with many people anymore. I've had some great experiences. I've had some not so great experiences. Brian Johnson, dude, you've literally been one of the best partners I've ever worked with, man. It's just really, it's more about how well you treat our communities and how much effort you put into Sponsored Products Academy. And I think that's why this is having such a drastic effect on people's lives and their Amazon careers.
It does help to be passionate about the topic, yeah. I geek out on this stuff pretty heavily, so I'm glad to be able to do that for the community. So,
well, you know what? I think everyone else appreciates, and I want to ask, you know, one question is, can you guys afford to be guessing in your sponsored product campaigns anymore? I mean, I was guessing when I found you, Brian. I think many of us are guessing, and it's costing us money. It's costing every one of us money. And before I met Brian, you know, and he helped me, like I said, I was guessing. I didn't really know if I was profitable. That was the worst part. I didn't know, and I think I was not, or just barely. So isn't it worth it just to know your numbers? I mean, what if you just bought this course and you go, okay, now I know how to accurately analyze my profitability? You need to do that, guys. Isn't it just worth it just to do that? Yeah? Good. Awesome. All right, guys. Yeah, we'll answer some questions. We had a few people ask about questions. We can do that at the end. But before I do that, you know, I want to kind of talk about the 2 types of people here on the webinar, right? You've got Worried Wally. I mean, look at this guy. He looks pretty worried.
I think I have a cousin.
You know, and he's going, I think we all have a cousin that looks like Worried Wally. But the point here is that, you know, if you're Worried Wally, you're looking for holes in this presentation. You're looking for reasons not to pick up Sponsored Products Academy. You're looking for any little thing, you know, and I don't know why that's inherent to some people, kind of the glass half empty types out there, you know, or you're Confident Connor. This is the guy that's going to make the decision to jump in, pony up the $9.97 or the 2 pay of $5.97, invest in himself, and get out there and kick some ass. Because, guys, this is the only sponsored products training on the market. Amazon doesn't give it to you. Okay? There is nothing else out there, and there will likely not be anything as good as this. That said, we want you to be a Confident Connor and go out there and make the leap of faith. Make the decision in yourself. Okay? But I'm going to make it better for you. Let's give him a bonus again, Brian. Last bonus. All right, last bonus. Bonus number 5. We're going to give 14 days free access. Okay, 100% free for 14 days for everybody that jumps on to the VIP community. Now, Brian, do you want to talk a little bit about the VIP community? Because I have no idea how to price this. I think that it's as valuable as the entire course and all the bonuses wrapped up together, but I'll let you kind of explain what it is.
Yeah, you know, so okay, so basically the private VIP group. This is a community on Facebook, and we've had essentially, this is kind of the first point of contact as far as not only support with the academy, but also be able to pose questions, situational questions. You can go through the course, you can become an expert on sponsored products and advertising, but to put it in context, sometimes you need a little help. Sometimes there's some situational things that you want to pose a question to the community or to myself, you know, because I'm in there heavily, and so it gives you a very some, I would say instant, but I would say pretty quick responses to your situational questions, to ask, you know, basically, or to learn, especially. I think that's probably what most people do, is they kind of just lurk in the background and they just you know, listen to other people's scenarios and they learn from those. And I see that again and again. And I've reached out to a number of the VIP members, and you know, one of the things that should be stated about the VIP group is it is a private group of these sellers who have committed, who have gone through the academy. So not only are they properly trained, but they also are implementing all that they're learning, and they're also contributing back to the same community who's doing the same thing. We're not talking about a bunch of people just riding along, you know, on coattails for free and everything. They made the investment. They're in this group. They make the commitment. They know, they understand the value. And the biggest thing that that I see in there is that we have so much engagement, such a high percentage of engagement within this group, and month after month, you know, since we started, you know, and
well, Brian,
everybody that I've gotten feedback from is they love it. Yep.
Can I jump in? One of the things I've seen the most is just how freaking attentive you are to everybody. I mean, dude, you're.
True.
And guys, for everyone listening, this VIP community, let's make it clear, it is a Facebook group. It is a private Facebook group, okay? But every single question, and I think we've got Brian down to answering in less than 10 minutes for every single question. It's insane, and just the amount of knowledge. I mean, Brian, I've seen you write out, you know, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs for a small question before. You're not going to get that anywhere else, guys. I mean, I don't even pay as much attention as you do, Brian. It's making me look bad in my communities.
Yeah. Well, yeah, without a doubt, this is my first priority, absolutely, within the VIP community.
Right, and that's where you get intimate access to Brian. I mean, guys, do you know what it would cost you to work with Brian? It's $3,000 a month, and that's likely going up, and that's for 4 hours. You know, so you may not have the right question at the right time to work with Brian. You know, in the VIP group, you can ask questions that will be answered by Brian, and also you'll get notifications for the live Q&A webinars, the bonuses. We're going to do a lot of polls, a lot of fun things coming up too. You'll be the first to hear about those announcements. You'll also be the first to receive discounts. We're going to do a live event. You'll receive the notification discount for that event. You know, there's a ton more that we're doing in the VIP group, and it really is you know, worth the price. You know, why don't I do this? I'll come on out. We'll just go to the live group. What do you think? Why don't I show everybody? And I still got. Look at this. I've still got the 2.0 still on there. I don't know how to clear that. I'm gonna never use. Oh wait, here we go.
Yeah, you just clear it there. Yeah.
Good. I'm good. Okay, guys. So this is the VIP group. It is not overloaded, right? Because it's so private, we only allow people that have gone through Sponsored Products Academy in. We don't even give the opportunity to anyone that has not purchased Sponsored Products Academy. Okay, so you can see we've got people waiting here in the wing. We don't let them in unless they purchase Sponsored Products Academy. So we don't want, you know, I mean, quote-unquote newbies in here asking silly questions, because we want people that have gone through the academy. We want everyone to get the most value out of this as possible. And you can see here that Brian's in there answering every single question. He's giving previews of PPC Scope 2.0, you know, and also all the announcements for the private webinars. Guys, I really think that of it all, I think that access to the VIP community is one of the most valuable things that we could give as a bonus. And you get 14 days free in there to decide if it's for you or if it's not. Remember, we're also giving away a 14-day money-back, no questions asked refund. If you don't like the cut of my jib, if you don't like Brian's voice, if you don't like the colors we picked for the logo, whatever, we're not going to ask you why you're canceling. If you want to cancel, cancel. We're trying to make this as irresistible as we possibly can. So go to sponsoredproductsacademy.com/go. Guys, we've been offering a split pay now of $597, build once now and build again in 14 days. So just to recap, here's what you get. You get Sponsored Products Academy, the 4-week intensive course that, by the way, we had a few questions out there. It is drip-fed week by week, but you, of course, all the videos come out at the same time every week, and depending on when you sign up. And you can go through that at your own leisure. There's really no schedule. You just go through it as you can. Also, you get all the takeaways, okay, checklists, action items. You get the real-time case studies, references. You get paint-by-number instructions, FAQs, and a lot more. We could easily charge $2,000 for that, being conservative. And then the bonuses. Let's not forget the bonuses. So 100% free access to live weekly Q&A webinars. This is where you learn about what's going on and what's working now. And you get to ask Brian any question you have, just like you have him here. You'll have him on a webinar. It's $597 value easily. Bonus number 2, and those are weekly, guys, just to clarify, that is every single week. Bonus number 2, you get 100% free access to PPC Scope 2.0, the software that was just announced on this webinar. It's a $490 value. Bonus number 3, you get 100% free upgrades to Sponsored Products Academy 2.0, 3.0, 19.0 for life if you sign up. But guys, that's only for the first 30 people. We still have a few seats left for that. I'm checking right now. Bonus number 4, one-on-one live Q&A with Brian Johnson. Looks like we got 4 seats left for that. That was only for the first 10 people. So if you guys want to jump in now, you will. And by the way, guys, we did have a pretty relevant question. How will you know if you're one of the first 30 or the first 10? You will receive an email. So we have to go back through our Stripe account and look to see what time you signed up and when you signed up, and we will get you in, okay? And we had a question here from Valia. Can I join the VIP group paid without purchasing Sponsored Products Academy? The answer to that is no. No. We only want people that have gone through Sponsored Products Academy inside of the VIP group, unfortunately. So I would recommend jumping into Sponsored Products Academy. Like I said, I already went through the whole thing on how it pays itself off in under a month.
Yeah, and actually, and to add to that, I guess, is that, I mean, that's something we actually asked our own community. We asked the VIP community and said, is this something that, are you okay with, if somebody wants to come in and join the VIP group by itself? And they said, no, absolutely not. I mean, it was like 100% response, no.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to, because they want to make sure that everybody who's in that VIP community is properly trained, not some training they got off of, a podcast or some Udemy course or something like that. It's that they're properly trained and they actually know what they're talking about so that they can actually be part of the community, not just leeching off of it. So
we're getting a lot of sign-ups here. Terrence, totally appreciate it. He just jumped in. Thomas, nice. Steven, very cool. Diane, appreciate it. Cheng, awesome. So that's really good, guys. I really appreciate you doing that. And yeah, the VIP, Brian, I think you're exactly right. We want to keep it very clean and very pure. And then you get, of course, 14 days free when you sign up now to the VIP community. And don't forget, guys, money back, 14-day guarantee. You'll get it all. If you don't think that it's worth at least $21,825, almost $22,000 after you go through this thing, we will give you money back, 100%, no questions asked. Now, go to sponsoredproductsacademy.com/go, and we'll split pay that for you. So, remember, guys, it was normally $2,000. It was a $2,000 course. We had a lot of people jump in at $2,000. We're going back to our pre-launch price for you guys that are on this because we're re-releasing it. We closed it down. It's been closed for the past 2 months. You couldn't get in. We're re-releasing it now, and we're going to close it down Sunday at midnight. Okay, so this Sunday at midnight. So you guys don't have a lot of time to get in. And guys, it's one of my favorite quotes. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no new action, you haven't truly decided. You haven't truly decided to change your life either. You can go back to who you were yesterday, or you can make this leap of faith, jump into Sponsored Products Academy, and change your career in Amazon forever. Guys, go out to sponsoredproductsacademy.com/go. How many of you guys out there plan on being, let me ask you a question. Let me get a 1 or 2 or whatever, an emoji, a keyword head smash. How many of you guys plan on being in Amazon for the long haul? How many of you guys think that and see Amazon as a really successful sales channel for your business for the long haul. Let me get a 1. Let me get a 2. Let me get a keyboard head smash. Dustin says yes. Peter says 1. Guys, that's awesome. Oh, here they come. Here come the keyboard head smash. My favorite. Guys, if you're doing that, then you need to be paying attention to your sponsor products, period. It's where you're going to spend the majority of your money. I mean, it seems almost at this point, because I've been saying it for a little while now, and Brian, you've educated me, but it seems almost common sense, but I don't think a lot of people understand that sponsored products are where you spend, the majority, at least triple or quadruple or 5 times the amount of money you will on your products or your shipping or your tools or even your time. So having a really good working understanding of the place where you're going to spend the most money on Amazon, in my opinion, Brian, and when you agree, it's mission critical.
It is, absolutely.
Guys, so, here's a good one. The best investment you'll ever make is in yourself. Trust me, you can afford it, Warren Buffett. So if you're out there and you're worried, Wally, right now, and you're thinking you can't afford this, you absolutely can. The question is, can you not afford it? Right? What does it cost you to try to learn this on your own? I mean, the time investment, the monetary investment, you've got to be willing to lose a lot of money, or you spend the $9.97 today, split pay it even, $5.97, and make sure that you become confident enough to completely and reliably launch consistent sponsor product campaigns over and over that will be successful. I'm at that point. Brian has helped me get there. I still have a lot to learn, of course, but I feel much more confident launching these campaigns. And guys, not only does a good campaign make you money profitably from just the campaign itself, but it pushes you up in the rankings for your keywords on Amazon like crazy. Your organic sales will also see a giant boost, an absolutely enormous boost. And if after all this, guys, you're still on the fence, okay, or you're hesitant, I know we still got a bunch of people here listening to me. Appreciate you being here. If you're still on the fence or you're still hesitant, I'm going to do something crazy for you right now. Okay, and I always save this to the end of the webinar, right, Brian? Because I don't want my phone getting blown up. But here's my personal cell phone number, okay? I want you to call, leave me your credit card info, okay? Leave your number, your expiration date, your address, and your 3-digit PIN. Okay, I won't bill you. What I'll do is I'll call you back, and we'll talk. And if you don't think it's a good decision, then that's fine. We won't bill you, and I will burn your credit card info. But if you want to talk to me directly and ask me, some personal questions and how does this work and what do you think it'll do for me, guys, I coach as well, but I coach at $5,000 a month. Okay, so you can talk to me personally. Brian, I know I surprised you with this one, man.
Well, no, I mean, actually, it's not a surprise now because I think we did that once before, and the last time that you did that, I had one of the members contact me. He says, it was Mike, and he'd reached out. He goes, I actually called that phone number, and Brian actually answered. he was kind of surprised.
Yeah, well,
so,
I'm trying to put it to voicemail, but sometimes I just pick it up. So hey, you may get me directly, but right. It's funny. Dustin just said I spent $35 to $40K on pay-per-click, and I know it could have been cut in half easily, dude. Easily, probably could have made double. All right, guys, so I appreciate everyone listening to this presentation. We are very excited to reopen Sponsor Products Academy. Go to sponsorproductsacademy.com/go. And if you guys want to see, let's just do a random, I'm going to open up Jungle tab and see where I'm at today. So there you go. See the 85 units, and it's 2 o'clock, 2:20 here. And that's the effect that a really positive sponsored campaign will have on your account. So I've sold 85 units today. This is one of my 3 accounts. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. We'll probably, like I said, we'll probably crack 200 today. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them. And maybe Brian, you and I can answer a few more questions.
Yeah, what do we have?
Nothing. It looks like there's no questions. Looks like everybody jumped in. Okay, Nick has a question.
I don't think we're getting that good at it, but
I know, right? Nick says, I've got a friend going on their FBA journey in parallel with me. How strict is the system with me sharing my login with another person? Good question.
Strict.
Yeah, I would not recommend doing that.
Yeah, it is strict. Certainly not the VIP group. I mean, I suppose if they were visiting and you had them over for dinner and they were looking over your shoulder, then obviously you could see it, but or they could see it. But in general, yeah, I would keep it, focused in so that that your content's yours, your VIP access is yours.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't recommend sharing your login. Yeah, just don't. Okay, and Corey says, is there a cost for the VIP group after 14 days? What is it? Yes, there is. Corey, good question. It's $97 a month, provided that you want to continue. If not, if you don't see the value in it, then we are more than happy to make sure that you don't get billed.
Right.
Easy
and I can
as
tell
that.
you, yeah, I can tell you is that for the people who signed up, who had initial access and continue to do the monthly VIP month after month, very high number of the student body continue to use the VIP. They get that
Yeah.
much out of it that it's worth it to them to stay in there and stay plugged in and to have the most current information and to be able to learn from other people's experiences in a very focused, well-trained community.
Yeah, guys, and that's, technically speaking, I run a few membership sites myself, including Sponsor Products Academy, and or I should say SPA VIP, and we call that quote-unquote churn. So what's your churn rate? An average churn rate for a membership site is 30 to 40%, believe it or not. Our churn rate is below 10%. So that statistic right there, for those of you guys that know what churn is, it's also called attrition, or how many people choose to discontinue their membership, is very, very low. And I think that's due directly to Brian and how immediately involved he is. Any question you have, I mean, you guys get to ask in the VIP group, you get to ask the world's leading sponsored products professional a question, and he'll get back to you in 10 minutes. How insane is that? So, I mean, this thing pays for itself easily over and over and over. I mean, some of the comments in there are like, geez, I'm already getting my money's worth out of you, or I'll be in this for life, or, things along those lines. I probably will start putting some of those testimonials up on the landing page itself. We'll just clip them from Facebook and put them up there. I don't have them up there yet, guys, but what do you have to lose? It's a full 14 days money-back guarantee, and you get 14 days free. So try it out. If it's not for you, you just let us know and we'll cancel it. You won't get billed.
Yeah, we don't have any issue with that because we know exactly what we've experienced with your predecessors. With other students who've gone through the course, we know exactly what we're delivering. We know the response we get back, so we're very confident in what you're going to be able to see and what you're going to experience. So give it a shot.
Corey has another question. How long do the weekly Q&As go for? Is it ongoing? No, it's every week, man. So we're doing Q&As every week. Brian is just generous, and he wants to do them every week.
Yeah, well, and to clarify on that, I mean, while I do them every week, is that at some point we do have the VIP weeklies, which is going to be separate from the just the Academy weeklies. So maybe that's a slight clarification on that.
Sure, that makes sense. Okay, great. Another question here. Does the 14-day VIP start now? Well, Melissa, if you just signed up, it would start as soon as you signed up. So the only way to get to the VIP group is by first purchasing Sponsor Products Academy, and then you'll be taken to the page to sign up for the VIP group. So if you did accept your 14-day free trial, then it would start right now. So what you want to do is you want to go out and follow the instructions that you'll receive by email. You need to send off an email to us. We need to receive that, and then we will approve you. That's the only way. And we have to verify that you did make the purchase, and then we approve you. So it's a process here in the back end that we handle. So just make sure you're following the instructions. All right, guys, so that's awesome. Listen, take the jump in here. We've already had a ton of feedback, and we closed it down. We're reopening it today. We're shutting it down Sunday at midnight. Guys, this is the best thing you can do for your Amazon career. And by the way, Amazon, I personally own 7 businesses going on 9, and Amazon is absolutely at the top of my list in terms of creating passive income and just fun, just pure fun, watching numbers go up every single day. It's been absolutely amazing for me. Peter just jumped in. Nice, Peter. Good job, man. Melissa, congratulations. Thank you. Everyone that signed up. Terrence, yes, I appreciate it, man. Those of Cham, it looks like you had some troubles. You could just shoot me an email. If you guys have any questions, send me an email at Brian@passiveandmassive. It's Brian, Brian, at passiveandmassive.com. If you had some trouble signing up, I will personally help you. Other than that, B, what do you think, man? Did you guys have fun? Did you learn from this webinar? Did you sign up? Let me get a 1. Let me get a 2. Let me get the keyboard head smash.
I've had a good time. I was glad to be here. So I know I can get geek out on this stuff, but hopefully some people got some value out of that. And I mean, I really look forward to teaching and working with the new group. I mean, it's exciting for me. I have fun with this, absolutely.
I know. And every time we do a reopen, or I don't know if we're going to reopen before we do Sponsor Product Academy 2.0, which we've already got on the back burner. If you signed up and you were one of the first 30, you'll get it for free. Likely going up in price too. I mean, some of the other courses out there like ASM, what are they up to now? $5,000 or more? That's just insane. We'll probably push up the price too, but if you signed up and you were one of the first 30, congratulations, guys. You'll get everything, all those bonuses together. Just you'll definitely get an email from us and follow those instructions, and we look forward to working with you guys and seeing you inside of the VIP too. This is one of the smartest decisions. So congratulations, good job on making that choice. And what do you think, Brian?
I'm biased, so I know that it's a good choice. It's just a case of who do I get a chance to work with, who's going to be part of the academy and part of the community. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it, and I look forward to seeing each of you on the inside.
All right, guys, with that, thank you so much. I'm going to close her down. If you have any questions, please feel free to use my email, and I'll get right back to you. All right, guys, thank you. Love you all. Big kiss. Bye-bye.